I'm on my way back from my friends. We had such a great chat. We were talking about the side effects of drugs and how right now the doctors are pushing drugs on people in a way that's quite sinister. And I've just been, oh, this guy's biting the fence. The horse is eating the fence. Oh my God, that's too funny. Yeah, but before we get on that, how are you? Hope you're enjoying the day. My friends, 4x4ing it out of here, hopefully. Oh shit, excuse my language. First of all, there's a beautiful German Shepherd at the end of the road. I don't think I'll go that way. I think I'm not gonna go that way at all. Oh, he's beautiful. I think that was the German Shepherd that we were gonna go look at. Beautiful German Shepherd. He's just sitting there. Oops. How is the park brake engaged? Okay, back to here. Sorry guys, but I've gotta get out of here safely. Like, this place is not generally very, oh, there's the fence eating horse. Anyway, just wait, I want to show you. It's eating the fence. Eating the fence. Hello, boys. See? He's eating the fence. Like, no joke. So, I guess we'll see that fence having to be repaired. Anyway. Welcome back, and now I'm safely leaving my weekly visit with my friend. I love coming visiting my friend because we really get to talk about things, that I don't get to talk about with, some of my cohort. Oh, where did that dog go? He just disappeared. That was so strange. Oh my gosh. Then you just wonder if that wasn't a dog spirit of some sort, because I don't see him. Anyway, I love coming to see my friend here once a week and just talking about life. And her son is getting married, and he's going to be married down south, which is so exciting. And she's getting prepared for that. And so we were talking about that. We were just talking about just in general how doctors are now becoming not necessarily people we can't trust. I think that's a very sharp, maybe strong way of saying what we were kind of talking about, but what we really kind of are coming to a consensus with is that it's not like doctors, in past, oh my God, so many beautiful birds everywhere that you could actually go to, and you could trust that doctor, and the doctors used to come to your home. Like, she still remembers when doctors would come to your home, and she's more of an old age time. And she remembers, doctors, you can trust them. They were like an extension of your family, where they cared for you specifically, and they knew your whole family history. And I know that with population increases that can't happen, but it's more than that. doctors are now becoming untrustworthy because there's starting to be more of a loyalist branch of pharma that is basically they are the drug lords, drug dealers, and the drug lord is pharma and the drug dealers are the medical establishment that dulls them out. And the reason why we got started talking on it is because she's a little old-fashioned and she doesn't have she doesn't have a computer. And I know actually several people up here that don't have a computer, which is, I love that. I love the fact that maybe one day I'll get to the point where maybe I will only need a computer in one area of the house. I don't have a TV in my house. I do have a computer, but that's also because of my space confinement. But maybe one day I'll have a computer again outside of my house, and that's kind of what I would really like to do. So she doesn't have a computer, or she doesn't have internet, and she asked me to look up something because the last time I had a visit with her, she had what looked like an allergic reaction. And the only reason why I know that is I've had one, and I wasn't allergic to nada before that reaction, and then I had a deathly allergy, and I looked at her and I said, "Are you okay? You don't look all right." And she says, "Well, I'm just having," she told me the symptoms, and I'm like, "Are you itchy as well?" And she's like, "Yes." And she was dizzy, and she had all of these symptoms that I'm like, "Oh my God." I said to her, I'm like, "You need to get this checked." I said, "Do you know what you ate or what you took?" And she tells me the drug that she took. And I said to her, I'm like, "I think you're having an allergic reaction, or at least I would take a guess that this is at least some of the side effects of," oh, such beautiful horses. I'm sorry. Just, you know what? Nature and animals are just so breathtaking. And I said, please, you need to get this checked out. And so she says, "Oh, they said that sometimes these are the side effects and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "So this has happened before?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's happened before, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable." And I'm like, "Well, look at you. I mean, I'm not saying that you look bad, but you kind of look bad. It looks scary. If that was happening to me, I'd be at the hospital, unfortunately. I don't like to go to the hospital, admittedly, but I would go to the hospital because in case I would like to be around someone that can give me some sort of antihistamine, because she was literally, she was more swollen than I remember. She was red everywhere. Anyway, too much detail. And that's where so she asked me to do some research she gave me the name of the medication that she was taking, what it was for, what it's used for, what kind of side effects, what kind of bad side effects that can happen. So I did the research, and today I was telling her about all of the research that I had done on it. And it's awful. I mean, this drug supposedly helps with arthritis pain, but it causes so many harmful side effects that it's just not worth taking it for this purpose. It's better to either exercise or do some sort of other therapy where you'll get less maybe of a reprieve, but you will not get the side effects like liver disease was one of them, gout, problems with your heart after. It's incredible. So I was just giving her the lowdown of the information that I found, and we were talking about how right now in Canada and in America there's starting to be an outbreak of measles. Okay, I just want to say measles, y'all, was a childhood disease or just a disease that you would have gotten, and it's like chicken pox, where it's almost, and I won't say it's effectively a rite of passage, but it kind of was for your nervous system. My grandmother and my mother's time, even, the moment you got them, it wasn't seen as an outbreak, as something to froth fear from, but it was instead something that was more like, "Oh, my daughter has the measles, who wants to join the party?" kind of deal. And my mom and I were talking about this because my mom was wondering why I was doing the research for my girlfriend. And she's like, "Oh my God, well," and then I found an article about the measles outbreak and how in the States one thing about the States that's good is that if you don't like one state's rules, you can move to another where the rules suit you much better for what you feel your rights and freedoms are. It should be everywhere, but I mean, anyway, I digress. And we got on the subject of measles, and my mother even recanted to me the story, back to sort of spending time with family and learning your history, about the time when she got measles, everybody, would come to the house and everybody would infect the children, so that they had a controlled sort of demolition of that disease. So basically they knew that they gave it to their children. The children went through it. Some went through it horribly. Some went through it like, 3 little measles bumps and that's it. But it was done in a fashion where they controlled the disease by making sure that they spread it, and they knew that they had it. So now they knew that they had an immunity. Well, now in America, again, I told my girlfriend about this, and my girlfriend now wants to know where in America. So I got to go back to the books and figure that out for next time I visit her. But I've got to tell you, and I'll see if I can find it by the time I put this video up, and I'll try to put it up on the screen. But somewhere in America, they're starting to vaccinate children for the measles, and just in general, just vaccinate without parental consent at schools. So they're not calling the parent, they're not telling them it's a vaccine day, and they're saying, yeah, we're gonna, do you give consent? It's no longer a consent required process. I don't know where in the States, and I mean, for all I know, I don't think the article said Canada, but in Canada, I believe that's already a thing. Now, for me, I feel that is a very dangerous time that we're entering, because children are not allowed to choose to smoke tobacco or drink alcohol or smoke marijuana, but they are allowed to consent, or someone other than their parent is allowed to choose for them and the betterment of their family health. And that is very scary, because I think we're at a time where this is almost like a wartime scenario. It is a wartime scenario, I would argue, where you have to tell your child, literally, if you are a person that believes in your right to decide whether or not your child is going to take a medical treatment or not, you have to educate your child at home. I just spat. That's crazy. It's a frothy situation. This is very thorny for me, because my son is autistic, and what I believe is what I saw, and the evidence was clear. I don't need to have a white coat costume to tell me that I am some sort of delusional land. But now what we're having to do is we're going to have children that need to be taught from a very early age, or you're simply not going to be able to send your children to school, because you will not know when they are doing something to your child of a medical variety, let's say, until they come home and it's already done. So just imagine if they were like, oh, you know what, we're going to sterilize you. That's a medical treatment. And you come home and your daughter, you're at dinner, or your son at dinner says, oh, Mom, today we had a sterilization program that we went through. And then that's it. It's done. And then even if you were to fight it afterward, your children can no longer have children. So now you're going to have to educate your children to be mindful that this is something that is against their will, against their rights, and that they are to say no. And you're putting them in a position where you are going to ask your child to now stand up and say no to adults. So they're going to look like they're being defiant and oppositional, or they're going to have to excuse themselves politely and run to the bathroom, like, running from a shooter, and call 911, which is their parents, and let them know that this is happening, So they have to first recognize it, figure out a way out of the situation to report it. And this is a lot of stress for a child, especially like if your child is in junior kindergarten. How can you expect a child of that age to take on such a responsibility? Like, I don't know what you all think about that, but that for me is absolutely terrifying. Just terrifying. Terrifying. When I read that and I told my friend was like, "You're joking." I said, "No, I'm not joking. This is the article I read. And I should see if I can find it and I could like put it up so then you would know what I read." But it's shocking to me that there isn't like an uproar. And again, kind of like I talked in my last video, there needs to be a release of steam by the public to show the people that run and own us that no, you can run and own us, but you will not treat us like cattle. Not all the way. Like, we're already treated like cattle. We have to get this permit. Like, I don't know if you know this. This is totally right off of the subject that I'm talking about, but I don't know if you know this, but according to Canadian law, according to my law-abiding friend, like he is to the book, according to the Canadian law, all living animals belong to the government of Canada. And if you want to hunt or gather them or whatever, you must have a permit. I'm sorry. Do you understand what I just said? All living things, all living creatures belong to the Canadian government, and you need permission to hunt them.
Hi, forget you.
Oh, hi. Can I get a small coffee with 1 milk?
Okay.
And that, and a, what is that? Oh yeah, no, not lemon cake. What is that? Sourdough.
Sour cream?
Yeah, sour cream donut.
Okay.
That's everything.
Just the coffee and the donut?
Yes, please.
Okay, $3.35, please.
Thank you. So by which, if the government says they own all living creatures, which is like, oh shit. What the hell is going on here with my car? Then that means that, hang on, I gotta get my coffee for my Herbie.
$3.35.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. Take care. What does that say about you if you agree, and everybody that goes hunting or gathering, and I do agree that there should be, limits and stuff like that, and everybody should, especially when people are, hunting for like, just those things or whatever. What are they? This antlers, like, for example. Okay, I do understand that, but you actually have to pay for a license. You can't just go hunting and the rules being, okay, if you hunt and you go fishing, you're only allowed, say, 5 or 6 fish, but you don't need a license for it. You just hunt, you go fishing, you do your thing, and if there are bodies that control it, then they check everybody. You have a driver's license, you have some sort of ID. If you do not follow the rules and you get caught with 100 fish, and you've basically, done that kind of damage to the ecosystem, you should just be charged. You shouldn't have to, get a license to go fishing and get a license for this and get a license for that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, because I do think that people can get out of whack when it comes to hunting animals, like big animals, moose, deer, bear, all that kind of stuff. Okay, I get it. But it doesn't mean the government actually owns them. It's just ridiculous. For me, that's just a ridiculous thing. But anyways, I digress. I don't know why I went on that tangent. All right, so I don't know. All I know is that right now, my girlfriend, she and I, when we talk, we just shake our heads because now she is so afraid of going to the hospital, just like me. I'm afraid to go to the hospital as well, because you never know what they're injecting in you. They don't ask, they just do. And you know, children, when they're born, they're given like so many vaccinations before they are even 24 hours. It's really, 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 really bad. And I feel like we are not really questioning what's happening ever since. Oh, and not to mention, I have to get on the subject. Not to mention, now all of a sudden, I just want to point out to everyone, unless I missed something, they don't know what causes the big C word, right? They don't know what causes it. And guess what? Before Biden left office, I don't know, my eyes are hurting me today. Before Biden left office, he announced that he had an inoculation for it. Let me get this straight, just so that I understand, so we're clear. We don't know the cause of the C pandemic, epidemic, because it's an epidemic now. There is no question about that. But we were able to formulate a medication for it. Come again? How is that possible if they don't know what the main reason why we get this disease in the first place? If you do not know the cause of something, how can you know how to fix it? I don't know. And I think that we, especially as Canadians, and especially as Westerners in general, should start being more assertive with our questioning, because there's a lot of things that are explained away in such a childish manner that it's kind of like shame on us, because we deserve what we get if we take what they say at face value, because we should really be paying attention to what kind of nonsense they're feeding us. You know, if it tastes like horse shit and they're telling us it's caviar, I think we have a right to question if it's caviar, right? We have a right. I think we have that right. And I'm not saying take any specific actions. I'm saying start putting some thought into some of these ridiculous explanations that they're giving us. And I really think that we need to start questioning the people that are, specifically the people that are in power, specifically that are the people that have the ability to write drugs that give more side effects than they do heal. And I do, agree that medicine has a place in society. It really truly does. It really does. But it shouldn't be the first thing we reach for. Just like if you have a sore throat, the first thing that you shouldn't go to is the hospital to get your throat surgically removed or your tonsils removed. Like, you do not do that as a first measure. You do that as if there is an issue ongoing and you've tried everything from herbs to other natural remedies to maybe then medication, escalating it one little bit at a time, incrementally, I think is really important. And I do think that we need to now, the trusted doctor is no longer the trusted doctor. The trusted doctor at this point, in my mind, is left behind in Hollywood movies. There's remnants of this belief that doctors are out there to help you, but doctors are now being pumped out of the universities that are an arm of this big system, this big machine to create more patients, because you cannot make money on healthy people. And that is something that we each need to recognize. Also, my book that I've been reading for quite some time now, I think this is week 2 that I'm reading it, Behold a Pale Horse, and you guys are going to hear about it a lot longer because, you know, I talk about it often and I do so many videos in my little basket of videos that one of the things that he points out, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically says there needs to be less births and more deaths, and that is ultimately the goal. And that book was written in 1991, and I might remind you that this man was, as far as I understand it, and as far as it is reported, he was brutally murdered on his front lawn or something like that in front of his house or something like that. Anyways, I'm going in to see Herbie. I brought in his coffee and his donut, and now I am going in and we are going to have our little rendezvous together. And wherever you are, I hope you're healthy. I hope that you are surrounding yourself with people that you love. And I certainly hope that you got something from my little yammering on and chatting with you. And if you've made it this far, I really would appreciate the help with liking and subscribing this video. I even got something like crazy, like 16 views on one of my videos, and I was just like so happy. I know it's not a big number, but every little person that adds to my channel is huge for me. It's huge. It's not increments of tiny. You know, when you have so many millions of subscribers, one person here or there, it doesn't have as much of a impact on your life as, you know, one person for me has a big impact on my channel and working towards this goal that I've set for myself. So I appreciate every single one of you who likes and subscribes, and I thank you wholeheartedly. And now I'm off. So have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Hopefully it's sunnier, because I think did a little bit of cloud seeding here. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that word, but there's lots of seeds in the sky, as it were. Until then, take care. Bye.